Hey guys, I'm actually out of town on business, but I got a little chance to get in my hotel and record my reactions. I have seen the first 3 episodes of The Wheel of Time Season 2, and I have a lot to talk about. Now, I can't spoil anything, and I'm going to keep this spoiler free. I'm just going to give you kind of my initial thoughts and raw reactions. Now, I did watch episode 1 a few days ago, and I watched episodes 2 and 3 while I was on the plane traveling yesterday. So these aren't my immediate reactions. I will tell you that I'm going to have some general thoughts and impressions, so if you want to remain completely spoiler free, you still might not want to watch this video. I'm not going to spoil any specifics about characters. I'm not going to spoil any specifics about plot or story or locations or any of that kind of stuff. But I am going to give some general thoughts about things like pacing and the quality. So, if you want to avoid those kinds of spoilers, maybe don't watch this video. Okay, just really quickly. As soon as I turned on the first episode, it just felt right. When I watched the first 2 episodes for season 1, I had the opportunity to go to one of the premiere events. I was in Denver, and I was there hosting that event, which was a really cool experience. But I was nervous about hosting, and I felt like the theater wasn't calibrated right. Anyway, episodes 1 and 2, when I first saw them, I had kind of like a negative reaction. It wasn't that I hated them, and if you follow my channel, you know I'm a pretty positive person. I don't hate things, and I especially don't hate The Wheel of Time. I definitely have problems with season 1. But it wasn't until I watched episode 3, when the first 3 episodes were released with season 1, that it felt more right to me. And I still think episode 3 is probably my favorite episode of season 1. Well, episode 1 of season 2 felt that way to me. It had that feeling like this is the Wheel of Time. Now, interestingly, it wasn't really book accurate. Just like a lot of stuff in season 1, especially the good moments in season 1 that most people agree they liked, that weren't book accurate, I felt like that's how these episodes of season 2 were. There were a few key moments that felt like they were taken right out of the books, but for the most part, this all felt like they were trying to rearrange all these different storylines. You know how the characters ended in season 1? Even that is different from how the characters ended in book 1, and they had to kind of juggle all of that. We also know they're trying to tell the story of books 2 and 3 in season 2. It feels like they're trying to kind of put these puzzle pieces together, and they're trying to kind of figure it out, but it feels right. I can't describe it any other way. It feels like the Wheel of Time to me. Even though, like I say, most of it doesn't come from the books. Now, I know some of you are not going to like that. I know that there are people who want a more book-accurate adaptation. This is not it. This is editing, Lauren, jumping in. I'm editing this a day or 2 after I recorded everything else that you've seen. And I just wanted to clarify, it is accurate to the books. It's just not a one-to-one adaptation, just like season 1 wasn't a one-to-one adaptation. I feel like I didn't make that very clear, so I just wanted to jump in and say, it's accurate to the books. It's not that nothing in it comes from the books. It just feels like an adaptation, just like season 1. I hope that makes sense. We'll talk about it more when I can actually spoil some things. But I will say it feels better. The pacing, the quality, the acting, even the costumes and the sets feel better quality. Everything about season 2 so far, from what I've seen, feels better. Oh, and I want to add in really quick, the writing is better too. It's better quality, just like all the other things I mentioned. Now, I have only seen the first 3 episodes, but I will also say, with season 1, I liked it. I even loved certain moments. With season 2, everything I've seen so far, I loved it, and I was looking forward to what was coming next. As soon as episode 1 ended, I wanted to watch episodes 2 and 3, but I couldn't because I had a trip to deal with and everything, and so I didn't watch episodes 2 and 3 until quite later, and I did write down some of my initial thoughts and impressions of episode 1, but then when I had a chance to watch episode 2, as soon as it finished, I was like, no, I gotta write my thoughts down first. So I wrote some of my thoughts and impressions down, but I was so excited to just get to episode 3. And now episode 3 finished, and I'm like, oh, I have to see episode 4. And now I don't get to see episode 4 until everyone else does. But I cannot wait for it. The setup for it is just really exciting. I am really, really excited. I would say so far I love season 2. With season 1, I liked it, and I loved some of it, but I also disliked some of it. So those are some of my initial thoughts and reactions. I wish I could be more specific. I will say there are certain characters that I did not expect to fall in love with, just like in season 1. Characters like Leandrin in season 1 that we were all kind of surprised we liked. They had some of that in season 2 so far. I was really excited about that kind of stuff. Some of the different characters who are interacting with each other in some interesting ways that didn't happen in the books, I'm very intrigued by it, and I'm very excited to see where these things go. Some of the stuff with a certain character, which I cannot say, was so emotionally devastating in the best way. I'm not kidding when I say in some ways this was better than the books. Now, it's not better than the books overall. The books are better. Let's just get that out of the way. The books are better. But there were some moments and changes and tweaks that they made to certain things that do happen in the books, but they changed them in a way that I was like, this is a really brilliant idea. I'm so glad they did this. There were some new things that they added that I was not expecting, that I was also like, this is really cool. I'm really interested to see where this goes. Watch season 2. Don't judge it too harshly until we get the big picture. I understand there are going to be people who hate it. I understand there are going to be negative comments. There are going to be people who hate all kinds of aspects of it. Look, there were a few characters, for example, that I was like, well, I probably would have done that differently. I wouldn't have had that character act in that way or whatever. There's some choices that were made that are like, what? Why did they make that choice? But I'm waiting to see if it pays off. Some of the things from season 1 that people hated, I was always saying, let's wait and see where they're going with this. They're trying to tell the whole Wheel of Time story, not just book 1. Well, some of those things already have had good payoffs in just the first 3 episodes of season 2. And so I feel like I have a little bit more trust in the writers and the team who are making this than some people. But for me, I'm like, they're really pushing this in a good direction. And I will say, I do think they're trying to tell the actual Wheel of Time story by the end. I just think that some of the pieces are some of the pieces are moving around and being put in different places. But it's all there, and it's very exciting. Another thing I want to add in real quick is they have to stick the landing. With season 1, I think one of the reasons why it left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths is because it ended kind of rough. And as much as I like or even love season 2 so far, if they don't stick the landing, maybe I won't love it as much. So that remains to be seen. This is why I like to kind of wait and watch the whole season and then rewatch it and kind of gather my thoughts before I do any sort of review. And I really haven't even done like strong reviews. By the way, this is not a review. I'm not rating these episodes. I'm not ranking them or anything like that. I'm just giving you my general initial thoughts and impressions. But anyway, if they stick the landing, season 2 is great television. Also, there were some things that I was like, there's no way they're going to include this in the show, and they did, and I was like super excited. So anyway, if you can't tell, I am excited. I don't often show my face in videos. I'm so excited to talk more in depth about these episodes with the community, to be involved with reactions on Twitter and everything. I should be back in town when the show actually airs. I'm anxious about putting my Unraveling videos together. You're going to have to be patient with me. That's something that I put a lot of effort into, and frankly, they don't get that many views, but that's what I love to do, is really break things down. I'm going to do my Unraveling videos a little differently this time. I'm just going to go scene by scene and kind of explain things to non-book readers, and then I'm going to have a little section at the end, I think. We'll see if this changes, but my plan is to then have a section at the end where I say, okay, now that the non-book readers are gone, let's talk about some of the foreshadowing and the spoilers and the things that I'm anticipating will happen in the rest of the season. So that's going to be how I kind of break it down, rather than trying to like pull out themes and try to get like a theme around the episode and all of that like I did in season 1. I'm just going to kind of do a breakdown scene by scene, kind of like what I do with my trailer and teaser breakdowns. So hopefully that goes well. I'm hoping to have episode 1 more or less finished within a day of it releasing, but be patient with me as I work on episodes 2 and 3. Hopefully I'll have the first 3 episode Unraveled videos out before episode 4, but I can't promise that. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like the video. Please remember to subscribe to Unraveling the Pattern. And you know what? We're in for an exciting ride. It's going to be an exciting few weeks. I hope you'll stick around with me and we can enjoy it together. Until next time, let the dragon ride again on the winds of Prime.